Aussie Stadium is the venue for this game in round 3 of the Telstra Premiership. It's the South Sydney Rabbitohs taking on the North Queensland Cowboys. Let's take a look at both sides now, and there are plenty of changes for both teams. For the Rabbitohs, Jovan Clark comes onto the wing for the injured Ahmad Bajuri. Willie Peters makes a surprise return from injury. He's been out with a wrist but is back now in place of Brett Carney, who moves to the bench. He's joined there by Fitzgerald, Minicello and Lolohea. The coach is Paul Langmack. For the North Queensland Cowboys, a couple of changes to their side also. Brendan Bowen will make his debut in first grade alongside Matt Bowen at the back. In the forward pack, Jamin Lowe comes into the side for John Buttigieg, who will start from the bench. And likewise, Chris Muckett moves into the starting 13 for Paul Nicholas, who will also come off the bench. Their coach is Graham Murray. The referee this evening is Tim Mander, in charge for the 207th time in his first grade career. Will be the Rabbitohs defending the southern end of Aussie Stadium. They'll get first use of the football as well. The kickoff come down to Ashley Harrison, who gives it back to Pulatua. He stopped just short of the 20-metre line. Walker gets to dummy half as they go to the right-hand side. Brought forward by Paul Stringer. So many hit-ups, so many metres gained last week. A good first touch as well as he takes the likes of Jamin Lowe and Campion with him. Fletcher now, so they keep it going to the right-hand side, running at Muckett, and also there was Shane Masbrett. They're back within 10 of the halfway. They play it there through Luke Stewart. Comes to Willie Peters, as we said, back earlier than expected from a wrist injury. And there's a bonus for them. Brendan Bowen it is who will bring it back. His first touch tonight for the North Queensland Cowboys. Gets the call up with Ty Williams out of action. Plays it back to Matt Singh, an early penalty.
And I think the Rabbitohs have made their intentions quite clear early in this game. They want to get up hard and put as much pressure as they can defensively on this North Queensland side, looking to try and force the errors.
They'll tap it at the Rabbitohs 40. Williams gives it off to McDonald, who stopped just outside the 30-metre line. Spread to the left-hand side, but they keep it tight this time with Jamin Lowe taking it up towards the 20. 4 tackles left in this set of 6, close to the Rabbitohs line as they go on a raid down the short side. McWilliams taking them on. He was almost through Miles now, working it quickly to Morrison. Campion changing tack as he headed towards the post. Pulatua got there to stop him with the help there of Justin Smith. Wider still they go. It comes through the hands there of Shepherd. Away to Bowen. Lovely pass for his brother, who will score with just his second touch. What a start for the youngster. And the Cowboys lead the Rabbitohs 4 points to 0.
Oh, tremendous hands there by the Cowboys. It's always going to be interesting to see how Chris Shepherd fitted into this side as the halfback. Of course, Nathan Feeney's out for the year, having a knee reconstruction. But it was lovely service from Lee Williams. He was great last weekend against the Eagles, and he started off well again tonight, going down the short side, throwing a lovely dummy. It was a tackle of Luke Stewart that held him, and then the ability to use the football from one sideline to another with some lovely passes. And Brendan Bowen over in the corner, first 4-pointer of the night.
And he came up absolutely grinning like the proverbial Cheshire cat. It was a nice movement across the back line, some crisp passing. We had rain throughout the afternoon and early evening here in Sydney. The wet turf certainly didn't hinder them on that particular occasion. A chance here to hit the lead running. Josh Hannay, good week last week with the boot, 7 from 8 for the Sea Eagles. Difficult one though, first up here tonight from wide out. He's taken it back a long way as well. 25 metres or so from the try line. It wasn't a bad strike, but it was wide of the post all the way. Cowboys will play from in front tonight. They lead the Rabbitohs 4 points to 0 in the 4th minute.
Exciting football early in the game. Interesting to see the mindset of the Cowboys, whether they will just tough it out early in the game or look to play an expansive game of football. Knowing that they got the 4 points, you really must go back to the game plan, just get the kick away and start to play a bit of field position.
They'll bring it back out from the kickoff. It's Jamin Lowe who takes it up towards the 20-metre line. Musprat going down the short side as they work it away through Hannay. A gain of about 10 metres or so, and they look sharp early on. Here's McWilliams again. Almost carving them open for the second time. He was grabbed, but only just by Craigie. They go right quickly. It comes through the hands of Miles to Singh, who's got too much speed, has he, for Merritt, who grabbed him only just from behind. Good tackle in the end by the youngster. It needed to be made. Campion rushes to the line. Good hands by McWilliams. They go left again. McDonald through the hands of Musprat. Another cut-out pass for Brendan Bowen, who was grabbed, but got a ball back to Josh Hannay, who could almost reach out and score. They'll get a penalty nonetheless. Very lucky, but it wasn't ruled a professional foul by referee Tim Mander. They could have been down to 12 men, the Rabbitohs.
And I think in that instance, Warren, a 10-minute in the sin bin is called for. They had the Rabbitohs stretch. A quick play the ball then, they were gone, the Rabbitohs. If that is not going to give you 10 minutes in the sin bin, I don't know what will. And they tend to do it later in the game. What's the difference between 5 minutes into a game and 5 minutes to go?
Exactly right. Hannay denied the chance to play the ball there. They were queuing up. He was almost able to get to the line himself. And they've taken the chance here to try and add a couple of points. Not an easy attempt, 10 metres in from that eastern touchline.
Oh boy.
Wow, Lee McWilliams started the game in terrific fashion for the Cowboys. A break which led to their first try, and he's kept up the form he showed last week against the Sea Eagles. Just under a 60% success rate for Hannay with the boot. This one from the 20-metre line, a better kick, and it splits the post. And the North Queensland Cowboys couldn't have started this game any better. They lead the Rabbitohs 6-0.
Yeah, well, the short side defence of the Rabbitohs must improve, but it came about by some lovely work from McWilliams from dummy half, getting the roll and then using the football. When they've come out of trouble, so far the Cowboys are looking to hit the short side at every opportunity. They do come up hard on the outside. The short sides have tended to stay behind. I'm sure Lee Mack would have sent out the message. Got to move up both sides.
The kickoff taken by Musprat, who gives it back to Jamin Lowe. Scheduled to start the game from the bench, but called into the front row with John Buttigieg, of course. Just working his way back into the top grade from injury. His first appearance tonight in 2003. McDonald almost lost it there in the tackle. Play it back to McWilliams. It comes to Morrison. Stopped down low by Stringer with Ashley Harrison over the top. Campion has taken plenty of hit-ups early on here and has them back near the halfway line. They'll try and kick from inside the 40, but Shepherd had to come outside to get the kick away. And he picks out Brad Watts, who once again has the fullback role tonight. He's due to start the season in that position, but is injured. And Wade McKinnon was deputised for him in the first couple of weeks, but Watts has the number one tonight. Hooking gives it off to Stewart. He's taken just short of the 40-metre line. Rabbitohs have to get possession inside Cowboys territory. Here's Fletcher, almost splitting them, pop the pass. It comes away though for Chris Muckett, who will pour downfield. They won't be able to pick him up. Jovan Clark is flying, but there's a piece of luck for the Cowboys. Chris Muckett gets a loose ball, but they will go to the video referee.
The ball went backwards and a knock back from Cowboys, and make sure that no South player was interfered from actually regathering the ball.
Well, I'm glad he asked for no interference, because I believe Ashley Harrison was... Oh, no, I've got it wrong. I think Harrison interfered with David Miles. I think this will be a 4-pointer.
Video referee tonight. Here's the experienced Mick Stone, who's had a look at this and comes up with a try for the Cowboys. Their second of the night. Chris Muckett picks up a rare 4-pointer, and it's 10 points to 0.
And they tried to just link the ball with their forward, Stringer onto Fletcher, and then trying to go in close support to attack the edge of the Cowboys' defensive line. And unfortunately there, the ball just getting interfered with. And muck it, just getting himself in the great position. Clark does his best to try and knock the ball out or try and hold him over. But he scores the second try of the night for the Cowboys, and he's first in 2003.
There was some danger, of course. The Rabbitohs tonight coming here with expectations of a first-up win, perhaps a little bit nervous about the whole affair. Well, certainly started that way as Hannay lines up this kick from close range. It's given the Cowboys a healthy lead here early on, even to the 10-minute mark. And they lead the Rabbitohs 12 points to 0. And what was a very loud stadium last week, as the Rabbitohs almost beat the Broncos, is deathly quiet here at the moment.
The Rabbitohs just need a good bit of good ball down in the opposition half. They've certainly got the players and the skill to be putting points on the board. Just got to forget about those 2 tries and start the game again.
Brian. Here it is, hold there, square, Brian.
Here's Bowen playing as it comes back. Jamin Lowe, who's met by the Rabbitohs defensive Pulatua. McWilliams, a good short ball on the Campion, who was hitting it at speed. Pulatua comes to add numbers to the tackle, and they drag him backwards. McDonald. Pretty solid for the Cowboys. First 2 games of the year. Cut out one man to go to Shepherd, who puts the kick in now down the right-hand side. Watts has to come a long way across to his left-hand side to pick it up. There were 4 Cowboys there, including the kicker Shepherd, and also Miles to wrap him up.
I'm sure that's a tactic that the Cowboys will continue to use, kicking early in their tackle count, but also putting pressure on Brad Watts. He's not one of the biggest fullbacks in the game. He returns the ball, he stays quite upright, and drag him back and show a lot of strength against Brad Watts. You can take him back another 5 metres after you've made contact.
Stringer it is, who runs at Jamin Lowe, and also Shane Musprat there. A penalty.
Jamin, that tackle was effective, and then you also hung around afterwards. Over the top. Want you off quicker than that.
Jamin Lowe not given the privilege of hanging on in the tackle, a non-dominant tackle according to Tim Mander, and that's a hot topic at the moment. Here's Walker. Coming through Peters to give it to Frank Pulatua.
One, stand up, stand up.
29 metres out, the first chance to go on the attack here tonight, the Rabbitohs. Smith now into angle down between the A defenders down the middle of the ruck. We'll play it back to Walker. Peters to the right-hand side. Cuts out Harrison to give it to Fletcher. Musprat is there to help out Hannay to wrap him up. They'll stop him just inside the 20. 3 tackles left. In this set of 6 for them. Harrison just ambles away from dummy half. Stopped by Campion around the legs. They can be brittle on this part of the field, the Cowboys. There's a good tackle, though, from Morrison to stop Peters cold. Last tackle. It's Harrison who will grub her. Hookie is out there, so is Merritt. Singh picked it up and almost ran away from them. They can open up on their own line, the Cowboys, as I mentioned. But first up, they've held strong.
That's fine. That's dominant.
McDonald will reach out in front of him to reel that pass in. Met there by Brian Fletcher with the help of Shane Walker as Morrison carts it forward. McWilliams again down the short side. This time he comes to David Miles. They've had some success on the blind side already in this game. Shepherd again will get the kick in. Kick it away from Jovan Clark. He'll have to go back into his zone in goal. In fact, it will beat everybody across the dead ball line. Will look like to be a very good kick off the boot. A little bit too much mastered on it. And it will be the Rabbitohs who tap it from their own 20. Here's Clark. Play it back to Owen Craigie. His first touch. Raised the knee there slightly as he came to McWilliams in the tackle. Deposit him on his backside. That's obviously a dominant tackle according to Tim Mander. Here's Brian Fletcher. Wrapped up by the try scorer Muckett with the help of Lowe and also Campion. Walker to Stringer. Again, gets that advantage line and takes tacklers with him and fast play the ball as well. Harrison, kick off that left boot. It won't be a bad one for the Rabbitohs. They'll force the Cowboys defeated on their own 10-metre line. They'll give themselves a breather, which I think at the moment is much needed.
Yeah, that was a good kick there by Ashley Harrison, just finding the touch line. They just need to settle down, start building their game, not worry about the scoreboard being 12-6. When they get down the opposition attacking zone, they are looking to go to the middle and get the ball out to Fletcher. And a couple of runs that Fletcher's already had tonight. He is dangerous. But they just leave him one-on-one. You've got to go with him in support because he can offload the football.
Stay there, Justin, until it's out, mate. It's out.
Shepherd with the scrum feed and comes to Singh.
One stand
They
up,
with
roll
it,
off.
so 14 minutes gone here.
Hold.
It really has been all the Cowboys early on. The handling has been very good. A easy surface here tonight at Aussie Stadium. Is Musprat coming to muck it, a ball back on the inside. An offload that wasn't needed inside their own territory. The 5/8 couldn't hang on to it. A bit of pressure on him. Or rather, Craigie coming over the top. Just made contact with the arms and forced the ball loose. And now we have Paul Stringer with a little bit of blood.
Okay. We pack the scrum. We pack the scrum.
From a cut
Glenn,
to the
don't break
inside of the
early.
mouth, it looks.
No,
Tim
Willie, we
Mander
just go, buddy.
won't hold up play.
That's
The
okay,
Rabbitohs
he's
will
injured
pack
player.
with 5 men. And Willie Peters has it from the scrum win. Comes to Hookie. He's one-on-one there with Mark.
Dominant on one.
And wrapped up just
Hold.
inside the Cowboys' 40.
Wait.
See what they offer this time in attack. Brad Watts,
Wait, two.
live
Don't
wire
go
fullback,
early.
simply
Hold.
can step and clean space. A hard man to reel in, pull it to him. Net by McDonald and also Jamin Lowe, the front rowers combining. Peters off the right foot, then the left.
Four, roll away.
Read by McWilliams,
Mark
well in
square.
defence.
Hold.
Go to the right again. Fletcher this time. Gonna stand in those tackles and offload.
No penalties.
Able to get a clean one away, and in fact, one of his passes, of course, led to the mucket try. Here's a good kick. Smith was coming through. In fact, Harrison almost got there as well.
Square.
And Matt Singh in the end cleaned up. And Ashley Harrison has been left slightly dazed back on the ground.
Yeah, they've dusted him a couple of times, Matt Singh. They've tried to really test him, put the pressure on him. He's put his body on the line. He's copped a couple of knocks, but he's got straight back up. Harrison is still down in back play. Glenn Morrison started the game on fire, continually carting the ball forward, doing a lot of work with his Cowboys outfit, and draws the penalty.
A little bit too keen to go on with things in the tackle again, the Rabbitohs. As they came through Harrison, it was at close range and there was a little bit of a head clash. But Harrison, despite that, got up looking at his knee or perhaps even his ankle. And we'll see if he's able to continue in the game. Here's Jamin Lowe, taking it across the halfway line. Play it back to McWilliams again. To find a hole down that short side. Speak these moments nicely so far in the game. McDonald runs at Shane Walker, keeps it alive from Musprat. It goes to Matt Bowen. Has his brother outside him. Needs to hang on to it. No, gets up and goes again. Craigie didn't have him. You can't let him get up and go again. He can put a try on. We'll play it back to brother Brenton now. Here's Campion.
Roll away, roll away.
McWilliams to Shepherd with the kick. Perhaps will be too big, or Singh was there. Well, they've even been a fraction offside from the kick. And it will come back for a Rabbitohs restart from the 20.
They're looking good with the football, the Cowboys. They're using the football. Bowen from fullback loves to get involved. He is a dangerous player.
Umpire one. Roll
And
back,
Brett
roll
Carney
away.
is now taking the field. He's been one of the better players for the Rabbitohs in these last couple of outings. He's a dangerous runner when he's got the football. He's got the step, and he's very enthusiastic.
Here's Walker.
All the way,
Going
Kevin.
to Luke Stewart.
On three, come back with me.
Back across
Let's
the
go.
40-metre line for the Rabbitohs. Harrison has come from the field. Carney is the man to come on for him. And the Cowboys make a change as well. McNicholas on for Muckett, the try scorer. Peters now. They got up quickly on the outside to hem him in, and he came back to Paul Stringer down the middle of the park.
Okay, last
Under
one.
the shoulder there of
Hands out.
Jamin Lowe before they stop him at the 30-metre line. Last tackle. The kick put in over the top. Singh had the chance to take it on the full. It didn't matter in the end because the kick goes dead.
Again, the battle of the ruck. The Cowboys just letting the Rabbitohs play the ball quicker than what they have done in the previous sets of 6 that they've had. And that's an area that they must really work on. Try and get as more dominant tackles than what the Bunnies can. Shane Walker's out of dummy half. Brad Watts is out of dummy half. And Willie Peters, when he runs the football, is quite dangerous.
1, 2, no penalties here, boys. No
Here's
penalties.
Morrison playing it quickly for McWilliams, who comes to Campion.
3.
Here's Musprat. Back on the inside for McNicholas, the former Rabbitoh, of course, of last year. We went north to try and find a regular game. Well, they put a difficult pass onto the hands there, or on the ground, in fact, of John Buttigieg. It's a tough one first up, and your first touch for 2003.
Yeah, not the best pass Buttigieg will receive tonight.
Over here, buddy.
They have gone to their bench, the Cowboys. They're looking to get a bit of size onto the paddock.
Okay, second row is binding.
Buttigieg and McNicholas both taking the field.
Shane, no, just wait, Willie. Get in, Shane.
Here's Peters with the feed and the win. He gives it off to Craigie. A penalty for the Rabbitohs.
Offside. There's the mark.
He'll kick to the line quickly. To play an up-tempo game, suddenly they decided here, the Rabbitohs, and they have looked a little bit better in the last few sets of 6 with the ball in their hands. Pulatua will head towards the post, about 15 metres out. Play it to Walker. Now Stringer, just 9 metres away. Tackles up their sleeve. Smith cutting back to the open side. Ball away there. Stewart will play it, only a couple of metres away. Cut-out ball for Peters. Short one for Brad Watts. There's the Rabbitohs first. A lovely ball off the hip. And they hit the scoreboard for the first time tonight.
Yeah, lovely play down the short side there by the Rabbitohs. Lovely pass by Willie Peters. And when you play the Cowboys, they do present opportunities to you. But you've got to be smart enough and have the vision to take advantage of that. Show a little bit of composure. And the Bunnies on that time took full advantage. Brad Watts just hitting the hole nice, getting up and telling his teammates, hey, we're still in this. Lovely ball there. Singh not knowing whether to come up or stay out.
Justin Smith with the kicking duties tonight to begin the game. It's a poor one to start with. There's some sides in the NRL to begin 2003 who've had their troubles this year. That isn't a great one. The boot of Justin Smith to start things off. They're on the board. They've narrowed that gap to 8 points. It's 12-4 with 18 left in this first half. See how the Cowboys respond. Started the game an absolute blur in the first 10 minutes. The Rabbitohs have fought their way back into it as Hannay gets us back underway. Kickoff has come down to Carney. In the 7 jumper, he was due to start the game before Willie Peters was the surprise late inclusion into the game. Stringer now. Another good run from him. So many metres last week for South Sydney. Fletcher now runs at McNicholas. Play it pretty quickly as well. A penalty coming their way. In fact,
play the ball.
Fletcher placing it on the ground to try and get back to his feet, levering himself with the use of the ball, and is penalised by Tim Mander.
Yeah, fair enough. I thought at the time the Cowboys players' hands were all over his back, but on that replay, just looking as though there was a couple of fingers, but nothing too harsh. Fletcher trying to get to play the ball. He did ground the football using some leverage to get up. And what you must do after getting points, you've got to get to your kick on the next set of 6, and we've seen it happen time and time again this season with a lot of clubs, is they either have their kick kicked out on the full, charge down, drop the football, or an infringement around the play the ball area. It just puts them under so much pressure straight away.
Here's Hannay now after the infringement. The penalty goal attempt from just outside the 30-metre line. Extend that lead again to 10. The first couple pretty well. Likewise with the third. He's in form tonight with the boot. It's a 10-point game once again. The North Queensland Cowboys 14, The South Sydney Rabbitohs 4. We've had 24 minutes in this first half.
And they push you down, you will get the penalty. But if you play the ball, you take it out of my hands, I must penalise you. Never penalise, never play the ball while you're on the ground. You're still on the ground, you had your hands on the ground. When you're ready, Justin.
Ryan Fletcher arguing the toss there with referee Tim Mander. No pleasure from what Mander had to tell him, that's for sure. We'll see what happens in the next couple of sets of 6 with the Rabbitohs. A change for the Cowboys with David Thompson. A one-time Bulldog out there now in 16 for them as McNicholas is herded sideways. Comes to Buttigieg.
On 3. Come back, all the way.
State of Origin representative, of course, with Queensland. Love to get back into that arena this year. Morrison now. Tackled there. Underneath was Philly Lolohea. Comes to Miles. Wrapped up by Lee Hookey as they played on the last tackle. Shepherd again with the kick from outside the 40-metre line. Watts is happy to watch it float over his head, and he'll pick it up on his own goal line. And the chase again from the Cowboys with McWilliams racing up is a pretty good one.
Yeah, they got out of that quite well, the Cowboys there. On last tackle, you don't want to be kicking from the sideline too often because you've only got one place to go. You've got to pass the ball from dummy half, and it allows the opposition to put a lot of pressure on your kick.
On 3. Here we go. Wait here. Wait here.
Lolohea
Wait.
helping to get the Rabbitohs into position to get a good kick away. Here's Fletcher again. Will make doubly sure he plays it. In fact, this time he gets an offload away. Carney is almost away. Wrapped up by Campion. He's got it back to the halfway line. Here's Walker kicking over the top for the flying Jovan Clark. Bowen knows he's coming and is able to avoid him. In fact, gets past Carney's chase as well before he's stopped by Peters. Got it back to Brenton Bowen, who's down the middle of the park. He only has Watts in front of him. Put a step on, and the fullback took enough speed off him for the Rabbitohs to recover.
The brothers combining. Great football that as Matt Singh takes the ball from dummy half. Lovely catch there by Chris Shepherd.
How he quite hung on to it. The Rabbitohs fans thought the pass was forward, but it was okay. McWilliams now comes to Campion. They stack the numbers again down that blind side. They fancy their chances there against the Rabbitohs. Play it back to McWilliams. Here's Thompson. Swiveling the tackle. 2 left in this set of 6. Here's Morrison again. Another blind side raid as he runs at Lee Hookey. This will be the last. McWilliams from dummy half. Took an age to get rid of it. Comes to Singh, who puts the kick in. He might have been inadvertently looking for the post, and Clark was under some pressure. In fact, still is to get it back to the field of play. They push him back in goal, and they'll get 6 more.
Jovan Clark got back there to defuse the kick. He tried to run it out in the field of play. He's only very small, and the Cowboys again taking advantage of the fact that the back 3 aren't the biggest for the Bunnies, keeping him upright and being able to drag him back another 4 or 5 metres.
Hold.
Peters it is with the goal line dropout. Not a bad one either. In fact, it's out too wide. He's kicked it over the sideline on the full. It had plenty of distance, and in the end it had too much, and they concede a penalty right under the black dot.
And this is a great opportunity now for the Cowboys to go for the 4-pointer instead of the 2-pointer. But it looks as though they are going to stick religiously when they get a penalty inside the Rabbitohs 30 to go for the shot at goal. Just got the feeling then that the Rabbitohs are a little bit rattled, a bit frustrated. The game plan's not going to script. They started the game as favourites. Plenty of people have turned up in the wet conditions to see them win, and they're behind on the scoreboard by 10 points. And the Cowboys
10 metres, fellas.
electing to
10
take
metres,
the
Owen.
shot at goal when there may be a 4-pointer on offering.
On the goal line.
Would have been tempted, you would think, to keep it in their hands and try and add at least a 4-pointer. I suppose the lure of a 12-point lead with a kick that is almost a given here for Josh Hannay was too good to pass up. 11.5 minutes left, and Hannay kicks the penalty goal to put them once again out by 12, and it's 16 points to 4.
You do get the feeling, Warren, that the Bunnies aren't going to go away. I think that they will come back strongly at some point in this game, and we keep mentioning they have got the ability to put points on the board pretty quickly. And I suppose 2 tries is still not enough for the Cowboys. They lead by 12. And if they had their opportunities, I just think sometimes in a game you've got to take the opportunities when they're presented, because you might never get them for a period of time.
The kickoff from Smith. Bounces up, and now it's McDonald. Bring it back to the 20-metre line. Remembering, of course, the Cowboys almost threw the game away last week against the Eagles. They led comfortably with about 10 minutes to go. A couple of quick tries from the Eagles, had them right back in it. And in the end, it was only the try to Matt Singh. It's a fortunate piece of play when Bowen made a break, which got the Cowboys home. Shepherd kicking from just inside the 40-metre line. A chance at a 40-20 here. A better than even money chance. They'll get one. That is a super kick. Nathan Merritt was playing up in the line, and they went early. And that has paid dividends here for the Cowboys. They'll get the scrum feed.
Yeah, the kicking game has been okay tonight. Chris Shepherd certainly leading the way. It was a 40-20. It just rolls over, and the Cowboys again get another opportunity.
Tim Mander wants time off here to consult with Mick Stone to confirm 100% that the kick came from inside the 40, but there was no doubt about it.
It's inside.
It's their ball.
Okay.
Time back on. Well, they will get this chance now. Close to the Rabbitohs line to extend this score line once again.
Come on.
Shepherd. Scrum will collapse here.
Wait, Chris, I wanted him to be quicker than that, buddy. No, you get it in there. Get the hands up, Shane. Stay there, Justin. Get it in there, mate. That's it. That's the fault.
Shepherd now. Comes to Bowen. He's almost away, wrapped up by Brad Watts, who was playing up in the line. Muskrat goes quickly to the left-hand side. Morrison dumps it off for David Miles, who's tracked across to sniff out a try himself. They stop him only a metre or so away. He's been hurt here. Williams was poised, waiting for the fast play the ball.
Just check that, Mick. There was some contact there. Just see if Brian Fletcher's hit him in the head.
Tim Mander asking Mick Stone to take a look at this one.
Sorry, mate. No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
It's also a hot topic in recent times, with players injured, of course. The video referee gets the chance. A bit of contact there with the forearm of Brian Fletcher. And having seen that,
Brian,
Mick Stone may well come
Brian
up.
Fletcher, stay on, please.
The call, and that's exactly what he's going to do here. Tim Mander will call out Brian Fletcher. You would think another penalty coming the way of the Cowboys, and another chance to add 2 more points.
Yeah, well, he has got him high. Waiting for the video referee.
Okay, listen, mate, you have come in there and hit him across the face. Okay, so we've got a penalty here. That's a caution. Penalty for across the head.
There's no doubt, given what's happened earlier in the game, as to what they would do. And pretty quickly, then Morrison points to the post and says, "We'll be having a shot, thank you very much." Again, it must be so tempting to keep the ball in their hands, try and crack the line here. But it looks as though they're going to stick to that philosophy tonight. If they get the chance to put 2 points on the board, they will take them every time.
Yep, David Miles there, copying a high shot there by Brian Fletcher. Played good football tonight, the Cowboys coming here. A lot of people expecting them to lose. They're determined to prove people wrong. I suppose when you've got a goal kicker like Josh Heno, who is striking the ball so well, whatever the points are there, take them. But it should be tempting at some stage, wouldn't it, to get repeat sets of 6. You never know whether this is going to happen again in the second half. Lengmack looks frustrated up there in the coach's box.
Frustrated? I'll tell you what, he's got a 3-year contract. He's worried at this stage he may not see the 3-year contract out. His heart might give out on him. Hannay with the successful penalty goal. Paul, it's not that bad. I know you were favourites coming into this game. You've still got plenty of time in this game. Can't bear to look. Phil Blake's watching on. Obviously, there's no doubt they're not following the game plan at the moment. Your long old career, if you do it this tough, game 3 of your coaching career.
Well, it was always the danger, wasn't it, for the Rabbitohs? They've been up for 2 games, the Bulldogs and the Broncos. They probably should have won last weekend. Might have been a little bit of a letdown. But you would think playing for your first win of the season, that would be enough to inspire you. But there's still plenty of football left. And as we mentioned earlier, the Cowboys will give you opportunities at some stage during the game. You've just got to be good enough to take it.
Here's McNicholas. Effective hit up at best there. He's going sideways and they made him pay. McWilliams trying to right the ship, if you like. McNicholas again tries to set the record straight. To smash him again. Trying to make a mark on their ex-teammate. Thompson will play it. Comes to Shepherd. His kicking game has been very good tonight. This time, though, we'll pick out Watts, who was favouring the left-hand side. And that's where the half-back kicked it to.
Here we go, no penalties, right across,
just
Shane.
outside their own 30. They trail by 14. Just over 6 minutes left in this first half at Aussie Stadium. Another change here for the Rabbitohs with Mark Minicello coming on. Both coaches have gone to their bench extensively in this first 40 minutes. Here's one of the bench players, Lolohea, taking it up for the Rabbitohs. Takes it across the halfway line. Walker gives it off to Stringer. Beats the first tackle again. Just week in, week out. Here's their best player. Peters. A spiral bomb. Matt Bowen. Poised underneath it. He put it down. It bounced up for Brett Carney. The Rabbitohs have it just 10 metres out with 6 tackles. Here's Peters, a cutout ball. He fires it to Nathan Merritt, who in the end did very well. The Cowboys up inside the 10.
Back up. Over here.
Well, there's no doubt what the Rabbitohs will do. No thoughts of a penalty goal, and they will. Tap it and go. Carney trying them on. Trying to split the gap there between Muskrat and also McNicholas. He plays it back to Walker. Take them on from dummy half himself. Buttigieg coming up with the stop close to the line. Fitzgerald is out there. The ball back on the inside for Paul Stringer. He almost pushed his way across. Walker with a pineapple of a pass. Peters off the legs of the Cowboy. It got away from Matt Bowen. It bounced up for Mark Minicello. I think he might have scored.
We got a knock on by Matt Bowen. Just check when the Souths regathered the ball, see whether they knocked the ball on or not.
They're looking for the double knock on. Minicello there. Well, he might have knocked it forward. This might be a better angle. Well, you can't really tell from there. Front on. Might go back to the video or the referee's discretion. It hasn't been a happy...
There it is again.
Hasn't been a happy time for young Bowen over the last minute. Dropping the high ball, never looked comfortable under it. And then the little grubber with chasers coming through. So plenty of courage to attack the football, just not wrapping it up. This would probably give us the better view of it.
We'll have a look at that one, I'm sure, again. Mark Minicello certainly waiting on nervously. Love to notch up 4-pointer number 1. It's an important decision here. The Rabbitohs can get themselves back into the game. 5 out from the break. If the green lights come up for Minicello.
I think it will be a try because I don't think they'll be able to tell whether it's a 4-pointer or not. Here we go again.
He contact with the hand initially. He ended up with the ball. His trunk perhaps even might have forced it around about the try line. Tough call this one, 50-50. I think toss a coin.
Yep. I could understand the video ref either way. Just looks as though there it's rolled forward a little bit.
That's the only concern. I think after the initial contact with Minicello's right arm, the ball does travel forward. Probably not in control. And having a look at it once again, probably favour now the no try signal from Mick Stone.
Scrum feed. Yep.
We'll see what he comes up with.
Yep.
There's a golden chance for them. Matt Bowen having a couple of moments with his hands. As he put down the bomb initially with the Rabbitohs possession. There will be a no try and a scrum.
Over here. Knocked on first by North Queensland, so scrum through the south.
Will come, as we hear Tim
Let's
Anders
get the
say.
scrum right.
On the Cowboys first, the Rabbitohs get possession here. Denied 4 points on that occasion. We'll see what they come up with in this set. Peters puts it to Carney. Cole White is still to Craigie, who's wrapped up by Hannay and also Musprat. Carney goes himself from dummy half. A couple of metres away. He plays it back to Shane Walker. As Peter standing very deep back to the 20-metre line. Comes to Justin Smith, who pushed away from the tackle of Shepherd, and he'll go all the way. It was a simple miss, one-on-one in the defensive line. They were denied a moment ago, but they won't be denied this time. Justin Smith gets their second try, and it's 18 points to 8.
Yeah, they never looked at all comfortable defending this play. Coming from alongside for a shift, it's probably one of the easiest plays to defend, especially when you got the numbers there, and it was just an easy miss. Chris Shepherd, great show of strength by Justin Smith. Starting to play a lot better football than what he did at the start of the year, scoring out wide. There's plenty of time to get up. You see Singh and Miles both going forward, then all of a sudden starting to hang back. And he shows great strength to go over and score the try in the corner. They get their second try on the night just before half-time, and that's a very important 4-pointer and a confidence booster for the Rabbitohs.
I would like a good kick here. There's a confidence booster for his goal kicking. From the average attempt first up, it has to be said. Also from a fairly difficult position. This one only perhaps a couple of metres easier than the first one. He's had just 17 attempts in his career. The odd crack. Only a few of them though for the Dragons before coming to the Rabbitohs. This one perhaps a better strike, but it was never on target also. The Rabbitohs could be at least a couple of points closer. They are 10 back now. Paul Langmack, at least for the moment, has the head out of the hands, although he's still not happy. Inside, even 10 points behind. A couple of minutes here before the break. Josh Hannay it is. Will get us back underway here. Very important, as you always say, Laurie, that the Rabbitohs get through a set of 60, no mistakes, and get a good kick away. They can think about things, regroup in the sheds at the break. Carney almost put it down from the kickoff. He's really put the cat amongst the pigeons. Lola here, coming to Stringer.
Mark a square, all the way back here.
They'll play it at the 20-metre line. Smith, the try scorer. Lovely fend on the halfback, Chris Shepherd. Coming backwards though in the tackle. With Nicholas in there, doing the heavy stuff. Comes to Fitzgerald now, the pass from Peters. Walker will get the kick away. Bowen racing to his left-hand side. What speed he possesses. He got there in plenty of time, as it turned out. Speaking of speed, Clark picked him up. Craigie's dropped it over the top. No one's mystified, but they are really cracking down on the flop in 2003, and that was a classic.
Exactly right. The tackle was completed and Craigie goes straight on top of Bowen. And players should realise now that the referees are up to speed with the late flop. You will not get away with it.
No penalties.
Here's Thompson now. Playing it at the 40-metre line for the Cowboys. 46 seconds left in this first half. Morrison. They take with a fancy play to finish things off here. Perhaps a little chip in behind the line. 3 tackles gone. So Nicholas just carts it forward down the left-hand side for them. McWilliams gets to dummy half. As it comes to Musprat. He'll fire it to Shepherd. Some speed out wide. There is the kick in behind them. Merritt is there. He will clean it up for the Rabbitohs. And Singh will wrap him up. About 5 out from his own line. With barely time for a couple of tackles left in this first 40 minutes. Cookie is wrapped up at his own 10. Walker will give it to Minicello, who was cut down. Classy tackle by David Thompson. Here's an enterprising play. on the stroke of half-time. The Rabbitohs put the kick in. They kick it back to Matt Bowen. I'm not sure that's a terrific tactic. In the end, they hem him in and will wrap things up at the break there. They took a chance as the siren sounded here in the first 40 minutes. And the North Queensland Cowboys will go to the sheds very happy with their work in that first half. They lead the Rabbitohs 18 points to 8. They're back underway. The Cowboys who get the first touch in this second half, and it's Buttigieg. Brings it back out to be tackled by Mark Minicello. Sink from dummy half, runs it up towards Justin Smith and also Jamie Fitzgerald. The 4 players on that South Sydney bench getting a start in the first 40 minutes as Nicholas comes down the blind side. About 15 short of the halfway line. Remembering Chris Shepherd, their halfback, came up with a 40-20 kick in the first half. Now McWilliams will feed it to Shepherd, but this time he kicks from outside the 40. And Merritt, perhaps under instructions from coach Paul Langmack, and ought to have been a fly on the wall in that half-time chat. Merritt was playing a lot deeper this time. There was no chance he was going to be beaten with a 40-20 kick on that occasion. Watts will play it. 10 on his own side of halfway. So the Rabbitohs get their first touch. Fletcher now up towards the halfway line. Good run from him. He's picked up some good metres with loose passes, and of course a penalty for a high shot.
We've tried to turtle him. The tackle was made. We've tried to turtle him.
Michael Luck, the player penalised. He starts the second half on the field for the Cowboys. The Rabbitohs now will get a chance, 20 out from the North Queensland line. They'll tap it. It comes to Willie Peters. Goes to Fletcher. Towards the post. He's looking for a fast play, the ball. Gets it to Shane Walker. Here's Carney. Taken downstairs. Michael Luck with a good tackle with the help of Morrison. Peters standing wide at first receiver. Cuts out Justin Smith. It comes to Mark Minicello, who couldn't get there in the first half, but they can't stop him this time. And the Rabbitohs have picked up a try inside the first 2 minutes of the second half. It's 18 points to 12 now.
Yeah, simple but effective. That set of 6 by the Rabbitohs. Just good go forward. Then they got a penalty. And then Willie Peters, a lovely cutout ball to Minicello. Hitting a hole, too strong for Bowen. And that was the start the Rabbitohs were looking for. And their 3 guns, Stringer, Fletcher and Peters, have led the way early in this second half. Fletcher, different player, just tucking the ball under his arm, hitting the line at pace.
And now Justin Smith. Now this attempt from 20 metres in from that eastern touchline. I think this one is well within range. And he sticks it across the black dots. We've got a 4-point ball game here suddenly after barely a couple of minutes in the second half. Paul Langmack, who was in his hands at stages in the first half. A glowering menace about him at the moment, but he'll be happier with what he sees. Back within a try now of the Cowboys. Hoping to steady here. This next set of 6, and we'll see what the Rabbitohs take out of that opening try in the second half. The kick comes down to Carney. Headed back to Fletcher. Good tackle made by David Thompson. He's done some good work downstairs for the Cowboys tonight. Stringer still going. With the tackle of Musman. They can't get him to ground. Eventually, the 3 of them have to rodeo him down there. Carney away from dummy half. Came to Matt Bowen, who made a good tackle himself. Terrific run from the halfback. Here's Fletcher. Takes it across the halfway line. They're making metres and plenty of them now, the Rabbitohs. Peters with the kick. In behind Singh. Looking for a bounce. He gets a pretty good one as well. It sits up for him. He took on both Nathan Merritt and Lee Hookey, who are up to the task.
Yeah, great start by the Rabbitohs. They look to be doing things at a quicker pace than what they did in the first half. They would have been stunned going into half-time, being 10 points behind. I'm sure Paul Langmack would have spoken to them about their intensity.
No penalties. No square up, Justin.
Brenton Bowen coming in to dummy half to help out the forwards. At the moment, need a breather. They're forced a long way back down the paddock After the kickoff, McNicholas towards the sideline, taken by Craigie. It is Shepherd who dodges one kick, or one chaser rather, to get a kick in. And now Brad Watts will go back inside his tent to bring it back. The chase wasn't a good one. They're up there in dribs and drabs, and now Tim Mandel will blow time out because one of the South Sydney chasers was taken out of the play, trying to get through on Chris Shepherd, who was desperate to get the kick in. And the Rabbitohs might get a penalty here, deep in Cowboys territory.
Yeah. David, here, please. Just get the spot for us if it comes up. Just listen, Stick. Touch judges.
Yeah, the 16 has come through the chaser for the kick. Has come through. He's changed his line.
He's changed his line. Okay, same thing. Okay, no, David. That's what they're there for. You've changed your line. You've taken the guy out. It is a penalty.
He can't run to me.
Just here.
Look, that's a fair enough penalty. Thompson did change his line, but I just hope that they watch every kick when people have been put on pressure, especially when there is blockers there, because you would see that 5 or 6 times a game.
Changed his line. I don't know that Justin Smith was ever going to get to Chris Shepherd. That also was a fact. Here's Shane Walker now to Fletcher. He takes it up towards the 10. The Rabbitohs with a second try here in the second half. They're just metres away. Here is Smith giving it to Minicello. He's 5 metres away. You play it there with a couple of tackles left. Here's Walker going to Peters. A short ball for Lee Hookie. The pass was forward.
Stay there, Justin. I'll tell you when, mate. Not yet. Down.
Singh has it for the Cowboys. They will work it away from inside their own territory again here. Matt Bowen comes to Josh Hannay, who's across the sideline. Talk about giving the Rabbitohs some chances to open up this second half. They've given away a penalty deep inside their own half. Now they run across the sideline through Josh Hannay. The Rabbitohs will come at them again.
Yeah, you've got to be careful in these conditions, using the football close to a sideline.
Glenn, don't break.
Because if you lose your footing,
Can you get Michael?
and the defending
I'll tell
player
you
is
when.
strong,
It's out.
and he keeps his footing, he keeps driving you, he'll push you over the sideline.
Right, roll off. Play one.
Brady plays it for Peters. Gives it to Minicello. Bounces back to his feet. Plays it for Shane Walker. And Fletcher straightens again. One over the top there of John Buttigieg.
David.
Peters to the right-hand side to Smith. There's that combination once more. He's looking to get the pass away. Just dropped it cold in the tackle.
This is where the Cowboys have to respond. They have to get to their kick, but they've got to have good go forward. Get away from the sideline on the last play. Try and kick the ball from the middle of the field. Have a couple of different options, because the Bunnies are certainly spotting up on their main kicker.
Well, here's Justin Smith coming up with a hit of his own on Matt Singh. Trying to jolt the ball loose. It was a good hit. An equally good one here. Jamie Fitzgerald stopping Jamin Lowe. McNicholas cutting back into the middle of the ruck. Matt Bowen got it away to Hannay. Some support there with Brenton Bowen, but he hung onto it this time and stayed in the field. They'll play it just across the halfway line. Matt Bowen with the kick off the side of the boot. He's looking for a midfield bomb. It comes down to Morrison, who coughed it up. Now falls for Brad Watts, who has some support but decides to hang on to it. Morrison gets there to clean up his mistake.
He rushed his kick then, Bowen. He had plenty of time. There was no chasers coming through from this Rabbitohs outfit. You can sense the intensity now of both teams starting to lift. The Rabbitohs were the first to do it after half-time. The Cowboys have come out a little bit slow. They realise that the Bunnies are back in this game, and they have to match their intensity.
Don't walk.
Carney has it for the Rabbitohs at the halfway line as Walker gives it to Fletcher. Another pass that was overrun. He had Peters outside him. Waited until the last possible moment to get the ball away. Just trying to put him through a little gap off his hip. Peters overran it as Fletcher had to balk at the defensive line. And another forward pass gives possession back to the Cowboys.
They're just rushing things a little bit, aren't they, the Rabbitohs? Still got to play with the same intensity and pace of the game.
Wait for me, Chris.
They've got to have a little bit more control
Okay, there we
about
go.
them.
Frank, get in there, buddy. Hold. Yeah, get your head in. Stay there, Justin.
Shepherd with the feed and the win for the Cowboys. David Miles forced a pass, knocked down by Nathan Merritt, and it will be knocked on.
He's played at the ball, knocked it down, played at the ball, knocked on. Yes.
He lost control of the ball, that's all he played at.
No. Play that. Knock on by South, that's right. Thank you.
Nathan Merritt thought he might have been away for a moment here. There's the touch,
Cowboys passed it.
straight to the ground. And that's a knock on every time, so the Cowboys will get it back
go early.
just on their own side of halfway. Shepherd again. Come to David Miles. That long left-hand side comes across to make it 2 centres on the left-hand side as McDonald comes back out there. And a stop and a good tackle by Jamie Fitzgerald, whose defence has been rock solid tonight.
1-3. Wait, Ryan.
Morrison to McWilliams as he comes to Muspratt. Comes in the first receiver, gets a pass away to McWilliams as well.
0-4.
Shepherd, flat pass, came to Luck and got the ball back on the run around. They won't pick the half-back up and he'll slide across the line to score a try. There was a suggestion that one of the passes in the lead-up was a forward one, and the Rabbitohs fans certainly don't like it. The Tim Mander blows to the spot. I think it was okay. The Cowboys lead again 22-14.
Yeah, it's great work by the Cowboys. I'm okay with the pass. Looking at it, I didn't think it was forward. Just great hole running there by Michael Luck. And then Shepherd backing up. He's had a fine game tonight. The support play, the kicking game. And to get the try, they've responded in the best possible way. Now this is the pass. It was nice and flat. I'm okay with it.
You certainly can't see one way or the other. The pass was in fact forward. Hannay, his favoured side, the right-hand side of the field, doing a left footer. Has hit them well and continues to do so. And once again, 10 is the difference. North Queensland 24, lead the South Sydney Rabbitohs 14. Nice piece of play. Glenn Morrison, of course, heavily involved as we go down to the sideline to hear from Neil Evans.
Thanks, Warren. Yes, well, Graham Murray was a pretty happy Cowboy at half-time. He said, we control this game defensively, we'll win it, we've set up a good base. He said, very important to try and get these South players on their backs in to play the ball and slow them down. Across in the South camp, well, Paul Langmack wasn't too concerned. He said, we've got to consolidate, get some real good go forward, maybe cut out the razzle-dazzle a little bit, and he still believes they're well in this contest at this stage.
They certainly are, with, as we said, 28 minutes or so left, 27 now in this game. A lost ball, here's a chance for them. It's spilled away from McWilliams. He thought the ball was stripped away from him. Tim Mander didn't agree.
Well, there was a hand in it there by Jamie Fitzgerald.
Okay, nice and easy. Just wait for me, Willie. Just want it settled, mate. Really? Yep. Stay there, Glenn.
Here's Carney at the 30-metre line. The Rabbitohs get it from the scrum.
Wait here, don't go.
Good position again to try and hit back and close this gap to 4 points once again. Harrison is back out there.
Chris, wait for here.
Injured in the first couple of minutes of the game. A concussion and also will look to be a knee or an ankle injury. Forced him from the field in the opening minutes, but he's back out there now. Here's Peters. Gets it away to Watts. Comes wider still to Hawkey. And now Merritt is hit perhaps by Miles. The tackle that referee wants to have a chat about.
Yeah, high tackle by David Miles. Yep, hit him around there. Yeah. David, you have come across and hit him high, mate. We're actually going to whack that one on report, okay? On report there. Just here.
We'll go and report, and the Rabbitohs will get the penalty, and they'll take the quick tap here. And that David Miles has too much to worry about. There was contact high. It certainly wasn't of any careless or reckless nature, you wouldn't think. Certainly no damage done to the ball carrier. So Fletcher now will play it back to Shane Walker. Walker, or rather Pulatua. He's just 7 metres away when he'll play it here. Comes back to Harrison. They catch them out from dummy half. They were waiting there in numbers. His opposite number, in fact, Muspratt amongst them. Another wide pass. Comes to Fletcher. ball to Peters, who got it on to Smith. It comes back to Carney.
That's 4, get off.
He'll play it. The 10. Sloppy one, but it's okay, says Manda. Fletcher now. One-on-one almost there with Michael Luck, and he almost forced him backwards. Again, it's Peters who comes up with a fresh air shot, and McDonald dives on it for the Cowboys.
Well, the Cowboys were lucky there that the ball went through Peters' hands. Otherwise, they would have scored over there in the left corner. That was a knock back. I can't see how he got a knock on out of that.
Don't come at me. A cord tackle. Cord tackle, he's lost the ball.
Oh, lost the ball. Geez, he must have called tackle early.
It wasn't a knock on, says Tim Manda. Says it was lost after he had called tackle.
Okay, let's keep our
Seemed to
formation.
be a little bit
Just hold
tough
it for me, mate.
on Kevin
No
Campy
quick
looking
feet.
at that replay, wasn't it?
He might have been hedging
Stay
his
there, Glenn,
bets
when you're ready,
there,
mate.
Warren.
I think you're exactly right. Here's Peters. The Rabbitohs have it again, just 20 out from this Cowboys line. Bookie it
Up,
is.
one. Dominant.
He's been here a couple of times in the last couple of sets, but have coughed up possession each time as Pulatua still taking them with him.
Back up, Paul.
Carried McWilliams and also McDonald a fair way with him here. Peters gets it back to Justin Smith. A good short ball for Jamie Fitzgerald, who's only a metre or so away. Craigie to dummy half. They raced up quickly. He still gets the pass away. And now there might be trouble for the Cowboys. Harrison trying to put a step on Morrison. He was equal to the task. Walker now goes to Pulatua. He runs and Musprat.
Okay, last
Some one-out stuff so far in this set of 6. Walker to Peters. They're up quickly again. He puts a grubber in. Matt Bowen is forced to make a quick dive on it. Comes into the field of play to take it. But
get out of there, Jimmy.
once again, it wasn't a great set of 6 from the Rabbitohs, it has to be said.
No, there was a little bit of confusion there as the
hands were in there. The hands were in there initially, Ashley. With me.
Here come the Cowboys, just inside their 30. And it's David Thompson.
Up, one.
He's 12 short of the halfway line when he plays it. McWilliams
To
to Miles.
Ashley.
They haven't had much ball inside the Rabbitohs half, and here's another mistake from them.
Hey, on knock back.
Pulatua stood there and took an age to think about diving on it, and there's possession there up for the taking, and he
No, Brian,
seemed to be
get square.
frozen in the moment. Here's Morrison.
On forward, don't give away a penalty as marker.
2 tackles left. The one time they've been down here so far in this second half, the Cowboys have come up with points when Chris Shepherd was able to score. Shepherd comes to Musman, cut-out ball, wide off the head there of Jovan Clark, not played at, still the last tackle. Bowen gets a kick in where Hannay couldn't, and Watts takes it on the full in the in-goal area.
Unlucky there for the Cowboys, Warren. They're looking to run the ball on the last tackle. It was the right idea by Hannay to put the ball on the toe. Unfortunately, rebounding off a South player. But this is what they need more of. Just going forward, not playing a risky type of football at the moment. There's still plenty of time to win this game. And they've had success when they've just rolled forward with an attitude about themselves when they've run the football. Quick play the balls. They've got some tremendous dummy half runners.
Certainly what got them back into the game in the first half. Now Peters kicking on the 5th tackle. He'll just spin down there and sat pretty quickly, and Matt Singh in the end did well to hang on to it. Matt Bowen might have been foxing, and here he is down the middle of the park. Jovan Clark coming quickly will wrap him up. Watts was there as well. It was the old shimmy and the fox, and they didn't close in front of him, and he went straight through them. Here's Brenton doing the same thing now. The Bowen's on fire at Aussie Stadium suddenly. He'll play it back to Musprat. Comes to Matt Bowen. Here's Campion back out there, picking up metre after metre on this run, and they're up inside the 10. And they lead by 10, and it's no betting that they will take the 2 points here on offer.
They must be tempted at some stage to run the football, because both teams, after they've had a pressure applied to them, they've looked fairly susceptible to points being scored. But Bowen, he stopped, and so did the South Sydney defensive line. And he slowed down, looked as though he was out of breath. His brother come from nowhere, and then he got involved from the dummy half play. Looked as though he was going to score, but again, the Cowboys get a penalty inside the 20. They elect to have a shot at goal, and if he is successful, it will take it out to a 12-point ball game.
It's quite a combination they've got going at the moment, the Bowens. Matt stood almost stock still, and the Rabbitohs did likewise. They thought there must have been a mistake. Singh obviously knocked it backwards, called as such by Tim Mander. Suddenly Matt Bowen was down the middle of the park. I tell you what, Jovan Clark can fly it. Matt Bowen's no slouch. He was reeling him in. Good that Bowen was easing up at the same time, but Hannay kicks the extra 2 points and puts them in front by a handy margin now. Just under 19 minutes left here at Aussie Stadium, and it's the Cowboys who lead the Rabbitohs 26-14.
They're exciting players. You can see why the fans up in North Queensland turn up to watch their team run round when they've got exciting young players in their squad. He's been terrific tonight, though. The man on screen, Glenn Morrison, he does a lot of work for this Cowboys outfit, and probably over the last 2 years has been their most consistent performer.
Really has been terrific value for them. As the restart bounces down inside the Cowboys 10, and it's McDonald who'll bring it back. Tour is there with Fitzgerald. He's still going though, McDonald. Every time the Rabbitohs have been able to come back and edge closer here, the Cowboys stretch the lead out once again. Good pass by Campion, back to McWilliams. Matt Bowen getting the dummy half. He'll add some spark from that position. Here's Muskrat. A step inside there. The tackle from Justin Smith. Shepherd to Morrison. Tries to put the fend there on Shane Walker. Lee Hookie helps him out in the tackle. 2 left in this set of 6. Campion showing it, cutting back to the left-hand side. Still going. The ball came loose there from Shepherd and then knocked back by Campion, who was in front of him. Accidental offside in the end, and the Rabbitohs will get it. McDonald comes from the field with perhaps a knee injury.
Yeah, he's had a big game, Jamie McDonald. Looking as though he has got a knee injury, Warren. That'll be a big blow for the Cowboys.
Okay,
just
nice
looking
and
a little
easy.
bit fancy there. The Cowboys had a lot of success. Quick play the balls that time.
Get in, Ash. Stay there, stay.
Here's Carney. The Rabbitohs.
I play one, stand up.
8 metres on their own side of halfway. There's still plenty of time for them. The clock is most definitely against them. And that's something you would think. The next couple of sets of 6, good chance here to try and get a repeat set of 6 if they can. As Peters has it. Cuts out Smith to give it to Harrison. He's wrapped up here by Miles and also Chris Shepherd. Peters to Puletua.
Okay, 5th and last. No starts.
One more tackle for them. Carney working from dummy half. Comes to Peters, who puts it high in the air. Clark is out here. Didn't really want to show a lot of urgency to get there, and in fact, in the end, all he did was give away a penalty because he tackled Brendan Bowen in the air.
You've tackled him in the air.
It's good work also of Josh Hannay. Just escorting off the football. Craigie couldn't get a jump on it. And Bowen goes one-on-one with Clark. He gets the penalty.
Just there, Chris.
And the Cowboys again get to work the ball up the field.
They'll tap it from just outside the 30. McWilliams gives it to Buttigieg. Real shirt front tackle from Jamie Fitzgerald would stop the front rower in his tracks. Campion. Another offload around the back to Matt Bowen, who's just there lurking all the time, jinking, stepping, showing it, hanging on to it.
Back up, Frank.
Now Muskrat wants to get the first receiver and play with Shepherd outside him. Morrison. They play it there after 3 tackles. They keep it going to the right-hand side. Here's Shepherd kicking early in the tackle count. Singh is chasing through. Watts is there. He bobbled it. It went backwards for him. The Cowboys don't think so. Miles is appealing for a knock-on. Got no joy from Tim Mander.
It looked as though he might have been able to knock the ball forward, but they get a let off there, the Rabbitohs. Lovely bit of work. Geez, their halves have combined well tonight, haven't they? There've been some nice passing, long passing, just allowed them to go on the outside of this Bunnies outfit, and they've looked to have a little bit of success every time they've done it.
Carney from dummy half.
Okay, last
Trying
one.
to get something going, has made a couple of bursts now and threatens to split them open at some stage. Peters from inside the 40, they'd love a 40-20. It bounces up for Matt Bowen, who has Singh with him. The Rabbitohs not quite getting there in the numbers they were earlier in the game, and you get the impression if they keep to come up dribs and drabs, one of these speedsters for the Cowboys will go straight through them. Matt Bowen's almost taking them down the park for a try in the second half. Here's a mistake though by the Cowboys. Minicello comes up with it for the Rabbitohs.
Oh dear. I thought they might have been stripped out then.
Tim Mandy, could hear him asking either his touch judges. Here's a mistake now, and it's a mistake against Nathan Merritt.
Don't come at me. Don't. Not penalty. Penalty. And we go again.
Back chat. Tim Mander marches them. The Rabbitohs weren't happy about it, but it was the correct call with the ball coming loose on the tackle.
It was the correct call. It was a correct call to also march him 10 metres. The players have been instructed this year
Just getting a little bit
not to talk
narky, mate.
derogatory to the referees. And if they do that, then they will be marched 10 metres. It's undisciplined play there by Paul Stringer.
A couple of costly penalties in a couple of seconds here for the Rabbitohs. Thompson plays it. McWilliams down the short side. Miles with him. He'll play it about 15 out. Singh comes to Campion. Lovely ball onto Buttigieg, who was almost through the gap. Only just stopped by Carney, and Fitzgerald McWilliams going himself from dummy half. He's a metre away with 2 tackles left. Campion swings it back to the right-hand side. They lead by 12. Is there a field goal in the offing here in the last tackle?
There might be. Owen Craigie's a million miles offside.
McWilliams feeds it to the left-hand side. Musprat kicking. The kick wasn't a great one. In fact, it will come up for them. Watts knocked it on. So did Musprat. Clark was away.
You, Brad.
The Cowboys will get possession here.
Scrum feed the Cowboys.
They were lucky that time, the Cowboys, putting pressure on. It's always a difficult one to take. When it's on the ground in these conditions and you've got someone charging through, you've got to show a tremendous amount of courage, which Watts did, but unfortunately the ball not sticking. The Cowboys get an opportunity here in this set to maybe wrap the game up.
Okay, let's go. Down we go.
12 minutes left.
Stay in there, lock.
And the Cowboys
Get it in.
just 10 metres away from the Rabbitohs line. They lead by 12. They try a short play with Morrison taking it from the scrum base. Shepherd juggled by Matt Bowen. He hung on to it under pressure from Justin Smith.
Back here, hold.
He plays it to Musprat. Here's Thompson. His defence has been first class tonight for the Cowboys. McWilliams come to Shepherd. Buttigieg outside him. They feign a run around. Buttigieg fends off Paul Stringer. Goes to ground eventually. 2 tackles left. Is there a field goal this time? Here's Shepherd. They go to the left-hand side away from the posts.
Okay,
And
last
I think
one.
in field goal, they've decided against it. Here's a short ball from Morrison to Hannay. He was into half a gap and put it down. They've had 2 cracks now. 2 good shots close to the line where they could have taken a field goal attempt and haven't tried it either time.
No, they want to go for the 4-pointer. And I suppose that's different to their mindset when they get inside the 20 from a penalty. They're looking to get as many points clear as possible. That was a bad play, the ball, I'm sure, there by Brian Fletcher or Brett Carney.
You tried to play it too quick. No, you tried to play it too quick. You weren't balanced and went straight down.
The Rabbitohs aren't happy about some 50-50 calls they feel they've gone against them. Well, that was just a simple one. Brett Carney tried to play it too quickly, made an absolute meal of it, and was saying he was pulled by the collar. If he was, it
Outside
happened
leg
after
there,
the
David.
event.
This set of 6 may be the one. The trainer has gone out to Josh Hannay to tell him maybe to look for it. Oh, the Cowboys nearly making a mistake at the back of the scrum.
They are prone to do it late in the game with a lead. He almost threw it away, as we said earlier in the game against the Sea Eagles. Morrison now as it comes to Musprat. The ball back on the inside for Michael Luck. He's only metres away. Here's McWilliams again. They keep just pounding it towards the line. Buttigieg slow to get back to his feet. They fire it wide. Shepherd with the kick, looking for 6 more tackles, and that's exactly what they'll get as Watts shovels it across the dead ball line.
The kicking game's been great, hasn't it? The long kicking game.
Justin, are you the captain?
Tim Mander wants to speak to Justin Smith at the moment, who is the stand-in captain.
Mate, you've got to cool down a little bit, okay, and don't get upset with things when you're... No, not you, your whole team.
Yeah.
We just need to calm down a bit. It gets you more upset. You do more problems and more errors. It doesn't do you any good.
Yeah, come on. It's got to go back.
Yeah, Justin, it is, mate, okay? What you've got to do is just calm down a little bit. Justin, calm down a little bit.
Tim Mander, pretty cool and collected, explaining things to Justin Smith. As Willie Peters comes up with the goal line dropout. And kicks it over the 40-metre line as it's Thompson to bring it back. He runs in to Justin Smith, who's in charge at the moment for the Rabbitohs, with Brian Fletcher off the field. Campion comes to Morrison. 25 metres out. Surely this time, Maury, they've got to think about a field goal, haven't they?
Well, you must think about it, because a field goal will wrap the game up, whereas it's only 12 points. The game is still in the balance to go into extra time, but they're trying to force the pass. Matty Bowen. I'm not quite know who the field goal exponent is, though.
Here's Miles. He's 10 metres away. Last tackle here. They won't get a better chance than this. Here's Shepherd. He has a crack, and he sticks it across for the extra point. They lead by 13.
13 in game, Warren. That's what was required there by the Cowboys, a 13-point ball game. You can even tell with the South Sydney players, they are dejected. Their heads are going down. They're slow to go to the kickoff, and calmly as you like, just slotting the ball over. There was no pressure applied to Shepherd. He's had a fine game tonight, the young halfback. He's had big boots to fill. Just got to be careful here. I suppose the Cowboys have the short kickoff. The Rabbitohs will try everything now with 8 minutes to go.
They came here tonight thinking that this was their best chance in 3 games to come up with their first points of the season. David Thompson almost watched the ball roll across the dead ball line on him. They will leave here tonight, still scratching their head. An unhappy start, of course, for Paul Langmatt in his tenure as the now confirmed head coach for the next 3 seasons. Things certainly don't get a whole lot easier for the Rabbitohs in the weeks to come. Next week, in fact this weekend in round 4, they will travel to Auckland to take on the New Zealand Warriors at Ericsson.
It's certainly a tough game, isn't it? Going over the Tasman to take on one of the informed teams of the competition. It's been a great victory, though, for the North Queensland side. There's a lot to like about them. They had a fantastic victory last weekend against the Eagles. First round, they were very disappointing against the Canberra Raiders, but you mentioned now that form line has been pretty good. The Raiders are undefeated after 3 games. They've tried hard again tonight, the Rabbitohs. They just haven't matched the intensity, I suppose, of the Cowboys for the full 75 minutes so far.
Brian Fletcher coming back into the field of play. Neil Evans has been a problem with the captain. He's been off the field for some time here in the second half.
That's right, Warren. Brian Fletcher's been battling lower back pain for much of the match. He's been worked on in the sheds, and he's hobbled out as a dying effort. And what about these Cowboys? Jamie McDonald has damaged medial ligaments in his right knee. The prop forward, he's been taped up with half a kilo of tape, and he's ready to go back into battle.
You don't need him at the moment, although they might change suddenly with Paul McNicholas wincing in pain after taking that attempted chip kick from the Rabbitohs. Here's Hannay now coming down the left-hand side. Brenton Bowen is with him, but Brett Carney. Nice tackle to take him across the sideline.
He's had a fine game too, Carney. He's looked the one that's been the most dangerous for the Rabbitohs when he's had the football in his hands. He's a very enthusiastic player. He's tried to play at an intense level. His teammates just haven't followed him for the full 80 minutes. They've played well in patches, the Rabbitohs.
Josh Hannay in a bit of trouble out here on the left-hand side. Might be suffering a little bit of cramp at the moment.
No, wait for the whistle. Just wait.
Their forwards have been great tonight, haven't they, for the Cowboys?
Stay there.
Jamie McDonald, when he was on the field.
That's fine.
And they've come up with a scrum win against the feed. You don't see that every day. They've done it all tonight. Here's Matt Bowen from dummy half. Comes away to Chris Muckett. He scored their second try of the game in the opening minutes. It was a piece of luck that fell his way, and he finished it off nicely. McWilliams. He also started the game in a blur. One of their best tonight.
Hold.
Singh going himself from dummy half.
That's 4.
Just on 5 minutes left. The Cowboys lead by 13. Looking to blow this score out at the moment. Shepherd stands there. Taken by Mark Minicello. Will play it to McWilliams. He grubbers. Picked up by Nathan Merritt. Pretty well done in the end. You can see the intensity there. They were still there trying to force him back into the in-goal area. With just minutes left on the clock. They want to finish this one off in fine style.
They do. And the Cowboys looking to get off their line with under 4 minutes, or just over 4 minutes to go. They don't want the Rabbitohs to score any easy points. They want to make it as hard as possible for them to get up the field. They certainly haven't dropped their intensity. They want to finish this game off, I believe, with another 4-pointer.
Fletcher playing it at the 20-metre line. He's obviously inconvenienced. There's a pass put down by Craigie. At times the Rabbitohs have been pretty good tonight, but at times their handling has been less than average. Brian Fletcher, I dare say his back at the moment isn't all that flash either. Came back out in a vain hope to try and spark something in the final minutes, but quite obviously he's in a deal of discomfort. I wouldn't think there's much value in him staying out there, but he will for the time being, with this scrum set to pack about 30 out from the Rabbitohs line. Some time off called by Tim Mander.
Just wait. No, knocked on by you guys.
The last thing the Rabbitohs want at the moment. Tim Mander saying that there was a slight touch before Craigie put the ball down. The Cowboys got a hand to it. So we didn't see that one. Doesn't really matter at this stage in the game, does it? Harrison playing it. It comes to Minicello.
That's 2.
Payne Walker gives it to Paul Stringer. Back to Walker now. Wrapped up there by Chris Shepherd.
With me,
and also Josh Hannay, who's recovered from that cramp he was struggling with a moment ago. Here's Harrison, wide of the ruck as he turns it back on the inside to Minicello, who's had plenty of touches tonight. He certainly has tried relentlessly out here. Here's Shane Walker, rubbering. It was an ad-lib sort of thing, and it certainly looked that way. Here's Craigie now. A piece of luck for them. They've got 6 more tackles. And just outside the Cowboys' 20. Here's Stringer, and then moved on to Luke Stewart. He spent an age on the bench tonight. The Whiters jumper out there. The first portion of the game in the run-on side, and he spent pretty much the rest of the game on the bench until now. Here's Walker coming back to Stewart once again. Still going. About 5 metres out from the post. Good play as the clock ticks under the 2.5-minute mark.
There it is.
But Nicholas laying over the top of him in the tackle. Now they tap it and come to the line with Stringer. Walker has to reach in over the top of a Cowboy, and Justin Smith will pull through a hole to pick up his second try of the night. It's far too little too late for the Rabbitohs. It's now the Cowboys who lead them by 9.
Yep, too little too late for the Rabbits. Justin Smith scoring next to the post. He will convert his own try. A lovely pass by Nathan Merritt coming in field. Dragging in 2 defenders, Morrison. And David Miles scores underneath the sticks. The game is already over. The Cowboys would be disappointed that they let in that 4-pointer. It was on the back of a couple of penalties and a set of 6 from a drop ball.
Smith with the conversion. Narrows the gap to just 7 points. Really, when you think back in the game, the Cowboys have been far better than just 7-point winners here tonight. Paul Langmack has seen enough. sure I'll look at the tape long and hard in the next couple of days and work out what went wrong. It seemed to be they're on the back foot pretty much from the start. The Cowboys came out with sure hands and some sharp play around the ruck. They had some good go forward from dummy half through McWilliams. And as quick as you like, they were out by 12 points to 0. The Rabbitohs seem to be a little bit overawed.
And we were mentioning the fact, Warren, about the penalty goals earlier in the game. And we have been proven wrong because the Cowboys have scored 3 tries and the Bunnies 4. And goal kicking has proved the difference here tonight.
Here's Walker. As the clock ticks down to 00s, that will be it tonight at Aussie Stadium. The North Queensland Cowboys pick up their second win in the first 3 rounds of the season. And they've beaten the Rabbitohs 27 points to 20.